radio rebel. Politics, news, conspiracies. Wake up your third eye with unorthodox conversations leading the universal business. It's the type of stuff I'm into, all right? Make sure you tune in. Let's go.
Let's go. I've been, hey. Controller. All y'all over here singing damn Drake songs. You do know this song came out before Drake, right? He better pay homage. He better pay homage. Good rising, kings and queens. How you feeling? First and foremost, let me say thank you to Lionel Media. Yesterday, Lionel was absolutely amazing, telling us the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. So help him. Who? Lionel of the U.S. Absolutely amazing. If you missed yesterday's show, please head over. We are no longer on Mixcloud. I have about 20 shows to upload to Mixcloud. I don't know if that is something that you guys want to use. The numbers were so low on Mixcloud, but the visuals on YouTube and Facebook have been people's favorite. So it's up to you. If you want me to put them on Mixcloud, I most definitely will, but people have been rocking with the YouTube. They've been rocking with the Facebook. Whatever works for you, I'm just here for whatever works for you, baby. So let me know. Inbox me, TaylaAndre, or you can head over to the TaylaAndre.com, the website, and there you will find David Banner tickets. David Banner tickets are available. I just made them available right now, literally. If you head over to Facebook, they are on Facebook. Give me until like 7:30 to actually put them on the website. I wanted to go ahead, like I got ahead of myself and just threw them out there on Facebook, but they are definitely available. Please get them while they're $25. Please get them while they're $25. If you know anybody who's able to purchase tickets on behalf of community members that can't pay the $25 or $35, please, we didn't get the funders that I wanted to make this a free event. I can be transparent. I am not a fundraiser. That is not my duty. That is not my job. I'm not good at that. So if we can go ahead and if you can buy an extra ticket, there is an ability for you to sponsor. So please, by all means, if you can purchase a ticket for somebody else, please do. If not, and you can only afford yourself, peace be with you. Also, do not forget, I don't know if you guys remember last year, but we did a conversation on education. It was a week-long conversation on education. Well, this year, we are doing two things. We are having 2 weeks of Youth Voice. So from July 11th to July 22nd, we are having nothing but Youth Voice. So we're going to have nothing but youth in the building. We're going to have nothing but youth organizations. If you know a youth organization that needs to be highlighted, that needs to be discussed, some of these programs out here that just aren't being talked about enough, please, July 11th through the 22nd, we are having 2 weeks, 10 days of Youth Voice. And then that following Monday through Friday, we are having nothing but a week-long conversation on education with a special focus on disabilities. So whether it's, a learning disability, whether it's autism, whatever it is, because I understand that there's a lot that encompasses into disabilities. For crying out loud, if your penmanship sucks, and you want to, I try to get Anari some penmanship help. I had to get him an IP plan, an ed plan. I had to get him an ed plan just to help him with his penmanship. I thought that was what school was supposed to do. Apparently not. That's special education. So we're going to have a week-long conversation on education when it comes to special education. So if you know autism organization, or if you know anybody who needs to be highlighted as far as special education is concerned, because I know it's one of the disciplines that we're cutting funding left and right when it comes to BPS. And our children with disabilities are being hurt the most and talked about the less. Nobody's talking about the children with disabilities. Nobody's talking about the parents with disabilities. Nobody's talking about the transition from middle school to high school to college if you have disabilities. So we're going to talk about it. A whole week-long conversation on education, strictly with a focus on disabilities. So with that being said, I hope I hope you guys hit me up. TAYLA ANDRE. One more time, I'm going to say it throughout the entire show. David Banner tickets are currently on sale for July 23rd. Strand Theater. Better late than never. Bill promises to be careful to avoid actual or potential conflicts of interest at the Clinton Foundation if Hillary gets back in government. Pause. Yo ass, yeah, I cuss. Yo ass should have been thinking about being careful to avoid actual or potential conflicts when you were all over the damn state of Massachusetts, making it impossible for people to vote, making it impossible for people to drive down the street when you thought it was okay for you and your 12 vehicles to block up an entire road in New Bedford. Yeah, I said it. I'll say it again. Bill Clinton promises to be careful to avoid actual and potential conflicts of interest at the Clinton Foundation if Hillary gets back in government. You shouldn't be at anything supporting Hillary. He was at the polls. We allowed him in the state of Massachusetts to be at the polls, in the polling stations. Thank you for voting for Hillary. Thank you for voting for Hillary. I'm sorry, but to me, that does sound like you were breaking the law. Former president promises to think very clearly about his charity role and to do the right thing. Y'all asses ain't never did the right thing. I don't care. I got people on Twitter hating me and threatening my life because of the way I talk about Hillary. I don't care. She's not for you. She's never been for you. She's never been for us. There's not one thing you can say, oh, but Hillary did. You better clap it up for Trump because Trump ain't did nothing either, but I promise he probably hired more black people than Hillary even helped. That is an opinion, not a fact. He won't commit now because he doesn't believe, and this is Bill Clinton, he won't commit now because he doesn't believe in counting your chickens. There's a story, pause. There's a story on the Wake Up with Tayla Andre page. It's very long for me to read on air. Long story short, but Hillary Clinton and her entire campaign is being called frauds for skewing the ballot, for putting her hand in places she wasn't supposed to. She did. They believe that in several states, Hillary has committed a George Bush. And what is extremely funny to me is, hijacking democracy? Lino Media told us yesterday, and I started watching the documentary. I started watching a good hour and 15 minutes into it. Then it started dragging a little bit. But long story short, they were talking about how President George Bush, the son, stole votes, period. They should have Kensington do a report because the truth of the matter is he stole votes. Don't believe me? Go watch the documentary. I can't make up these facts. But they're not going to count their chickens before they hatch. But they count in votes, though. It says that there will clearly be some changes to the foundations if Hillary Clinton is elected and he becomes the first dude. Hillary's presidential campaign has been dodged by reports of potential conflicts involving foundation contributors and companies who paid for speeches. Donald Trump on Monday demanded Hillary Clinton return $25 million that the Saudis gave her and gave to the foundation. The Obama administration set up a special process to vet potential conflicts when Clinton was at the State Department. So long story short, all her chickens are already accounted for because the president makes sure of that. I love my president to death, but we could have definitely did something better. We could have. We really could have. Tennessee lawmakers, this is probably the most asinine thing I've ever seen in my life. The days after, Tennessee lawmakers are planning to give away 2 AR-15 assault rifles as fundraiser door prizes. Is that a slap in the face? Did you just slap the entire country in the face? Tennessee lawmakers. It's called the Hog Fest and Turkey Shoot. I'm sorry. Andy Holder announced last week that he would give away AR-15 rifles as door prizes to the Hog Fest and Turkey Shoot fundraiser planning for late June. He was heavily criticized in the wake of the Orlando mass shooting on Sunday. He also said his office received threatening phone calls in response. But guess what? They still gonna give away that AR-15 rifle though. You can come sit over here, baby. It's okay. This is ridiculous. I just think this is a complete slap in the face. Somebody has to have some sense, and it clearly is not the lawmaker of Tennessee. you should have been the number one person gunning for it. Unintended. Alabama police officer shoots dead an 18-year-old after pulling him over for a traffic violation when the man reached for his gun. And I love the fact that they put it in air quotes. Oh, well, quotation marks. Mobile police officer shot and killed an 18-year-old Michael Moore. Investigators say just before 6:30 p.m. on Monday. An officer saw a vehicle commit a traffic violation. Moore did not have a driver's license, so the officer asked him to step out of the car. The police say once out the vehicle, there was a confrontation, and the other officer noticed Moore had a handgun in his waistband. Witnesses state the teen had a cell phone in his hand when he was speaking to the officer. You already know how this played out. You already know who are the players involved. And as more reports are released, I definitely will keep you abreast of what's going on. Police say that he had a gun, allegedly. I would love to have an allege, because if it was, allegedly the police did something. I go back to Lionel Media yesterday when he said you have to decode the media. You have to be mindful of the language that is being used, and we are not. We're like, oh, he's guilty. He's black, white officer, shot and killed. Yeah, he's guilty. We don't know. People have been panicking. Residents who shot video can be heard screaming in disbelief. Footage purportedly shows a UFO moving slowly and silently through the sky. Witnesses claim that the sky went dark and swirling clouds emerged before the craft was able to be seen. The UFO enthusiasts describe the object as a solid craft with circuitry on its top. Ohio, we have a problem. I would love to see a UFO. If I may be transparent, I always wanted to see a UFO as a little girl because I've always believed in them, because I was probably the only child on Earth that did not think that we were the only creatures in the whole entire universe. We accept weird-looking fish that look like aliens, so why not the real things? I don't know. I always wanted to come in contact with them so we could have a real-life conversation, exchange information. The United Nations has a point of contact for extraterrestrial life. There's like a position that you can be paid for through the United Nations for that point of contact when they make contact. I'll sign up for that job. I just don't want to be an experiment. We can talk about all the experiments you want to do, but I don't want to be the experiment. See, I got stipulations to our meet and greet, though. In other news, he never said he was a cop. The moment an off-duty NYPD officer pulled a small gun on a bike messenger after the near-miss car crash. Who does this sound like? This sounds like the incident that we had here in Boston 3 weeks ago with the pedestrian that was walking across the street, tapped the little window of the police officer who was off-duty, who was not in his vehicle, officer vehicle or work vehicle, and ran and tackled a guy to the ground, handcuffed him, and then, he cracked my window. It was a smudge, and they rubbed it off. We have another one here in New York City. He pulled out a small gun on a bike messenger. The incident occurred on West 10th Street in the West Village on Monday. Witnesses said the off-duty cop almost hit 3 messengers in his car. The officer got out of his vehicle with a silver pistol. Police have confirmed cell phone footage is now under investigation. One messenger, Dwayne Jones, 19, was arrested and charged, but they don't have what he was charged for. In the video, you can see the small revolver in the police officer's hand. In the video, you can hear people say, put that away, you're on camera. Like, I wish you could see the pictures. Well, you can. Go to Wake Up with Tayla Andre, TaylaAndre. It's ridiculous. I really want to know why Dwayne Jones, 19 years old, was arrested. They don't say why he was arrested. They just said that he was arrested. And it would be nice to know, if you almost hit 3 separate messengers, 3, why is one of them arrested? It would be nice. I'm going to wait until reports come out, and I'll definitely update you Last but not least, this is important to me. I know a lot of people like, Tayla, you go over the top when it comes to this. Stop scaring me. My sisters, my cousins, like, I can't eat anything because of you. You do know this, right? A watchdog report has stated that the FDA is slow in recalling contaminated food. The FDA took 81 days to recall a regional cheese product from Virginia that left 8 people ill and 1 person dead. 165 days of peanut butter, even after 14 people reportedly called them and informed them that they were sick and had illnesses. 165 days for peanut butter, 81 days for cheese. It left somebody dead. And they said that this is ongoing. It's completely unacceptable. This is not the first. It's not going to be the last. This is what the FDA does. And if you didn't know, now you know, because the FDA, in bed with Monsanto, really doesn't care about your health. They care about your teeth, but they don't care about your health. They never have. If they did, they wouldn't put all the chemicals, hormones, and everything else that they put in your food or your water. So this really isn't a huge surprise to me. It's not a surprise that it takes over 90 days minimum for anything to be recalled. It doesn't matter how many people have called and complained, how many people are sick, how many people come with doctor's note. It doesn't matter. It's a minimum of 90 days. Well, according to the FDA, now you know. One more time. David Banner tickets are on sale. If you head over to TaylaAndre, there is an event. On that event, it is called We Are Not Our Past. In this event, little Facebook thing, there is a link. So I think I'm, very tech savvy. Facebook won't let me upload the link where it says buy tickets now. They won't let me do that in my event. So I just posted it on the page. It is also on the Wake Up with Tayla Andre page. It's everywhere. I'm about to post it in my Instagram little thing, Twitter thing, everything. My website will no longer be openly available where you can just click it, because it's going to now be the David Banner tickets. So shout out to ZC Boston. I had an amazing lunch with a friend of mine. Shout out to Sinan. ZC Boston, 801 Mass Ave. She could not believe that it was free parking. She said, hold on, what? Free parking? This is the great, she was happy at the door. Free parking. I don't care what the food tastes like. Then we sat down. She had the teriyaki beef bento box, and it comes with everything. It comes with sushi. It comes with Samoas. What are those things called? Those little pot stickers? That's what they call pot stickers. Shumai. That's what it is. It comes with shumai, comes with salad, comes with rice, comes with my favorite vegetable in the whole wide world, candy yams. It comes with yams, fried. It's amazing. It's so amazing. And she loved it. I loved it. Delivery until 1 a.m. They're open until 2 a.m. Monday through Sunday. So every day of the week. Do not forget, weekends, half price sushi. Somebody asked me on Facebook the other day, Tayla, what is this charcoal tooth stuff that you keep talking about that's a teeth whitener? So this is activated charcoal. This is Faith's Natural Beauty, Faith's with an S, Naturals with an S, beauty.com. This is activated charcoal. You brush your teeth with it just like you would with toothpaste, and your teeth do get a little dark, they get a little nasty, they look a little weird, but it does help to whiten your teeth and helps with not going to the dentist and putting fluoride on your teeth. And I just took the cover off. Don't think I walk around with it like this. But we also have the deodorant. I love it. This is my favorite stuff in the whole wide world. It doesn't feel like the regular deodorants where it's chalky and nasty. Of course, don't forget the oil. This is some hair milk. So throughout the show, I'm going to do a little something to my hair because I look a little crazy. And we are on film, but don't forget that she has Drenched in Silk hair milk. Faith has everything, and she still has a job right now, and I would like for her to be a stay-at-home mom making products for me and all of the listeners. So please head over to Faith's with an S, Natural with an S, beauty.com, and make sure you get all of her products and supplement all of the products that you use at the store. Read the ingredients. If you can't read the ingredients and know where the hell that ingredient comes from, you don't need to be putting it on the largest organ of your body, which is your skin, period. So yesterday, while I was at ZC Boston with Sinan, the doctors were on television, and they were talking about, some of the products that we put on our skin, and the skin is the largest organ, and the woman had eczema. She had eczema, and she didn't really know how to get rid of it. Half the reason we have skin problems is because we're putting disgusting stuff that has no right to be in our body all over our bodies. That goes for your hair, that goes for your makeup, that goes for your lotions, that goes for your soap, that goes for your body wash. And don't forget the pum pum wash. Clean out and get your pH balance on track. So, with that being said, David Banner tickets are currently on sale. TAYLAANDRE. They are on Facebook. Give me until 7:30. They will be on the website, TAYLAANDRE.com. With that being said, hello, darling. Hello.
Morning.
Good rising. How are you?
I'm awake.
I know you are. And you look amazing. You look good. You look good.
I brought presents for you.
Oh, we have presents. Yay. Thank you.
Brought you a button.
Project Citizenship is in the building. What does that mean? We're going to learn how you, your family members, anybody who is currently in the country that is an undocumented citizen can learn how to become a citizen of the United States of America. You can also do it for free if you don't have the funding. If you do have the funding and you want to make sure that you vote this November, let's talk. Let's talk. Good rising, my love. How are
Good
you?
morning. How are you?
I'm good. I like those glasses.
They help me see.
Yeah, they're new, aren't they?
No,
A new
not
frame?
really. I usually wear my contacts.
Oh, that's what it
But
is.
it's too early in the morning.
No, it's not. What?
I don't know how you get up this early.
You want to know how I get up this early? Because there are people that need to be educated. And if this is the only time in which they can be educated, then I got to do what I got to do, like Nana said.
Give up your sleep.
That is my biggest vice. Not drugs, not alcohol, not sex. Sleep.
I would sleep all day.
Orgasmic. I love sleep. It is it rejuvenates you. It helps you grow. I don't care how bad your heart hurts. You go to sleep and wake up, you feel a lot better.
That's right. That's exactly right.
So sleep is my vice, and I give unto the people. But we're going to help the people. Project Citizenship. This is not the first go round, not the first time you've been here.
I think it's the third time I've been here.
Is it really?
I think so.
Well, then we just might as well call you a co-host then.
No, thank you. Too much responsibility.
Where's the support? So Project Citizenship, can you tell us a little backstory about the history of Project Citizenship? How did it come into existence? Because we see now that the city is trying to get involved with the citizenship. I'm really surprised that they didn't go through Project Citizenship with the, or maybe they are. Okay.
There. So we started in 2011 as a group of community organizations that helped legal permanent residents to get citizenship. And then in 2014, our office started providing direct services to legal permanent residents to get their citizenship. So when I think in 2014, we did about 150 cases. We thought that was really good. We were really happy. Last year, we did 705 cases. Our staff of 3 permanent staff members and some AmeriCorps volunteers, and we thought that was a huge number. This year, we've done 660.
And it's only halfway through the year.
And it's only halfway through the year because of the rush in the election year. People are anxious to vote in November. So all of our services are free. And we do the beginning eligibility screening all the way through the interview, making sure someone gets sworn in as a new citizen. We take passport pictures for free. We mail it for the person for free. And we help literally hundreds of legal permanent residents to get citizenship every day. I wanted to talk about vocabulary a little bit.
Yeah,
A little bit earlier you said undocumented citizens or something like that, undocumented immigrants.
Yes.
Okay.
So I was called insensitive for calling them illegal.
Right.
But that was just, again, the language that was used
Right.
in, reports. But just like we call people prisoners and inmates and they're incarcerated persons, there is proper language to label, I guess, label people.
Yeah. So I don't like the word illegal either, and I think when people use it, they mean or should be meaning people who don't have status. So meaning someone who comes here maybe with a tourist visa and it expires, or they cross the border without inspection, they sneak in, or for whatever other reason they're here and they don't have the right to work, they don't have the authority to be here. People who are eligible for citizenship aren't those people. So people who are undocumented, people who don't have status, aren't eligible for citizenship. The only people who are eligible for citizenship are ones who have their green card. They're legal permanent residents, and they've been legal permanent residents for at least 3 years if they're married to a U.S. citizen, or 5 years if they're not married to a U.S. citizen. So these are people who've already done everything right. They've already passed all the rules, and they've been in the United States for at least this long with their green cards. And as a result, they're now eligible for citizenship. And I think sometimes people conflate status with citizenship, and we're really trying to make sure that people understand that this is a very discrete set of people who are eligible for citizenship. But it's still 48,000 people in Boston alone who are eligible for citizenship.
48,000.
48,000 in Boston alone, and 300,000 in Massachusetts.
In the Commonwealth?
In the Commonwealth.
300,000 people
Are
that
eligible for
are
citizenship.
eligible for
Yeah.
citizenship. So what's stopping them?
There's it's hard. So there's a $680 filing fee that you already talked about, and we help people who are living under the poverty guidelines to get a fee waiver if they get Mass Health, if they get food stamps, if they get fuel assistance, if they have Section 8 housing.
So any of these qualify?
Any of these qualify
And
for
it
not
has to
having
be
to pay.
directly in my name. So the Section 8 has to be in my name. The food stamps have to be in my name. What if I am one of the recipients under the recipient that gets it?
Right,
So let's
as long
say
as it's your household, right? So if you're a dependent in your household, so it's your spouse, it's your parent, but not if it's like your roommate, right? It has to be someone in your household, not if your neighbor gets it. So then we can get the fee waived. So that's a challenge. The other challenge is you have to learn to read, write, and speak English well, basic English well. And that's hard. I've been trying to learn Portuguese for a long time now, and I'm not very good at it. So it's a challenge for especially older immigrants to learn a new language.
but there is a loophole
That's
on
right.
age.
That's
See,
right.
I remember.
Good job. So if you're 50 years old, or you've had your green card for 20 years, or you're 55 years old and you've had your green card for 15 years, you can take the test and interview in your own language, your language of origin. There's also a disability waiver for people whose physicians can say that due to a mental or physical disability, they're unable to learn to read, write, and speak English.
So when we were talking earlier about children with disabilities who are currently in the country, so the language is undocumented.
If you don't have status.
If you don't have status,
The people I'm talking about are legal permanent residents.
legal permanent residents that
Green
have
card holders.
green card holders that green
Correct.
cards may have expired.
It doesn't matter if it's expired because it's the card, not your status.
But aren't you illegal though?
No.
Okay,
No.
let's say I came over for a work visa
Yep.
and my work visa expired. I'm supposed to be back in my country.
But that's not a green card. Work authorization is different from a green card. Green card includes work authorization, but you could just have work authorization.
Oh.
So there's lots of little parts to it. So you could have the right to be here as a student and not have work authorization. But that doesn't mean you're a legal permanent resident. If you're a green card holder, you have the right to work, you have the right to live in the United States permanently. You have the right to go to
So
school
hold
here.
on, how do I get this green card though?
Well, that's harder. A lot of people usually get it through family-based petitions. There's diversity lottery for certain countries that the United States wants to have here.
Hold on, pause. Did you just say we have diversity lottery?
We do
So,
a diversity
for
lottery.
instance, if we don't have enough Mexicans in the country,
That's never happened. It's more like Eastern European and certain, I'll look up
Croatia. So let's say, for instance, we need more Croatians in the
Right.
country.
Then the United States has a diversity lottery in Croatia where they run it, and then some lucky people win a green card.
What?
Yeah, but the
I wish I
countries
could
that
cuss
are
right now.
included in the diversity lottery are not Mexico, are not
Oh, of course
Canada, are not the people the United States thinks we have enough of.
Or Haitians.
Or Haitians, or Dominicans. And I'm Mexican, by the way, so for the record.
Veronica said I could say this because I'm Mexican.
I can say this because I'm Mexican. The United States doesn't want more Mexicans. It allows 50,000 people each year.
For the lottery?
The lottery, yeah. I'm going to find the countries for you.
Hold on, Veronica.
You like this?
I do. I love this. We have a lottery status for who wants to be a United. Like, how do you market that? What the flyer look like? You want to be a United States citizen? You could be one of the lucky lottery winners.
I can tell you that
Buy
if you
your
live in
ticket
one
here.
of these countries, you know about this. And you get it that way.
617-282-0062. Do we have any listeners that are from any of these countries that are on the lottery status of citizenship? It just sounds really weird. This sounds like Section 8 in charter schools. You don't think about a lottery status for becoming a United States citizen.
It is true.
What about indigenous peoples? What about indigenous peoples in like, so, oh my gosh, Africa, Asia, Europe,
And it goes
North
through
America,
by each continent.
Oceania.
Countries. Yeah. So if you're listening in Oceania, you could be eligible for the diversity lottery.
There's a country called Mars. South America, Central America, and Caribbean. Trinidad and Tobago has a lottery.
There you go.
Hey, red, white, and black. Haiti. Countries in this region whose natives are not eligible for this year's diversity program
Not eligible.
are Haiti, Jamaica, Peru. So sometimes Brazil, Colombia, DR, Ecuador. How do you say that correctly?
In Spanish, Ecuador.
Okay, so I knew I was saying it wrong. El Salvador, Guatemala, Haiti, Jamaica, Mexico, and Peru. So Mexico is actually on the list, but just not.
As excluded.
No. It's not eligible for this year's diversity program.
Or last year's or next year's.
Or any years, huh? Wow, Turks and Caicos, Cayman Islands, Montserrat. These are, I would have never thought.
Yeah.
Portugal.
Yeah. But most people get their green cards because someone in the United States has petitioned for them. Some people get it as a result of work. They have special skills, and so they come to the United States and then they get their green card. But people who become citizens do it after a long period of having been here, paying their taxes, not...
Why do you think people are so fearful? Why do you think they wait so long? You said, how many thousands in the Commonwealth?
300,000 in Massachusetts, 8.8 million in the United States. It's not easy and it's not a priority, I think, if you're trying to deal with rent and jobs and your kids and school. It's just sometimes not the highest priority for people.
So what's the benefit? Like, let's say if you have a green card and you're in this country, you work, you pay taxes, you get a tax return at the end of the year, like, what is the benefit of becoming a citizen?
So the benefits are many. Traveling with a U.S. passport, which is gold. Permanence, no more renewing of green cards, no more fees. You then have a higher priority if you're petitioning for other family members from other parts of the world to come to the United States. If you have children who are 18 years old, under 18 years old, they'll automatically become citizens when you become a citizen as their parent. There's also complete eligibility for all jobs, federal jobs, all tuition reduction, scholarships, loans. So it's basically a permanent, unrestricted.
So are you not, I have a green card. And I've been here for 15 years. My parents have green cards. I'm not eligible for scholarships?
There are some scholarships that are restricted to U.S. citizens. So, for example, you can't go to West Point if you're not a U.S. citizen. Rhodes Scholars are restricted to U.S. citizens. So you have...
I wish we could change that because Rhodes was a really bad guy.
You want to change the Rhodes Scholarship?
Yeah, it shouldn't be Rhodes Scholarship. Let's change it to the Ku Klux Klan Scholarship. Like, who... I don't understand. We don't know our history at all, because if we did, we wouldn't strive to be Rhodes Scholars.
Yeah.
But I'm sorry, continue.
So when you're applying for college, as you know, there's all these forms and all these questions that they ask, and some of them are going to be restricted based upon your immigration status. So once you're a U.S. citizen, there's nothing that you wouldn't be eligible for.
What about your Pell Grant? How does
I'd have to look at the rules specifically. I don't know what the distinction is specifically in a Pell Grant for citizenship versus non-citizens.
So this might be something that parents want to look into as far as their children are concerned, even if you yourself don't care about status.
Right.
You want to
There
get
would be a benefit for your kids. The other thing is that I think the biggest one is that citizens can't be deported. So if I'm a U.S. citizen and I go out and I kill somebody, I could never be deported. And I don't want to suggest that immigrants are criminals at all, because they actually have a lower rate of criminal activity than
because they're trying to stay in the country. That's why.
U.S. born. But if someone is here and you've had your green card for long enough and you're eligible, you really should do it, because then if something should happen, if there should be a problem in the future, your status won't be jeopardized. So green card holders can be deported even for less than a conviction. So they're not living without
a conviction means you're guilty.
Right. You can be deported for less than a conviction.
So even if we suspect, before we even go to trial, before there's a court, I can kick you out the country and just save tax dollars from even defending it.
Yeah. So in Massachusetts, there's something called continuance without a finding, right? Which people think, oh, all right, well, I didn't, it's not a conviction. I told the judge, yeah, there's enough facts to show that I did it, but it's not going to be guilty on my record. Well, for immigration purposes, that is a guilty. For immigration purposes, a continuance without a finding with probation is a conviction.
Is there any way to go back to the court and?
Yes. So there's some ways to reopen the case. Like, for example, I never got the warning. If you're not a U.S. citizen, this could have impact on your immigration status.
And do you guys help with stuff like?
We don't help with the underlying criminal cases. That would be to have to go back, because that's in the district court or superior court. That's not what our focus is on. But in terms of your question of, well, what's the benefit of citizenship? Citizens don't have to worry about any of that.
Yeah.
And then the data shows that U.S. citizens earn more money than their legal permanent resident counterparts. They earn more money, they have more education, and it makes sense, right? There's stability, there's access to all the jobs, there's access to every benefit in the United States without having to worry anymore about other issues. So if people have their green card or know someone who has their green card, they really should give us a call and see if they might be eligible for citizenship, because then you get to vote, you get to be part of the electorate, you get to serve on juries, you can run for political office, and there's no restrictions put on you at all.
So, all right, today is June, what's today's date?
16th?
June 16th.
15th.
So today's June 15th. I call Project Citizenship at
617-694-5949.
two more times.
617-694-5949.
One more time.
617-694-5949.
And of course, that will be on the Wake Up with Tayla on your page. So today's June 15th. I call Project Citizenship and I say, you know, I really don't want Trump to become president. I don't like Hillary either, but I can't let Trump become president. I have to do something about my green card status. I want to be a citizen. I want to vote. Is there a possibility that I can vote if I call today?
There is a possibility. You know, some of the cases have been going really fast. We've seen some cases get through in 3 months. We've seen some cases get through in 5 months. But sometimes they take 6 or 7 months. So at this point, we're already in the range of, we couldn't promise it. We can't be sure that the person would make it.
But it's possible.
It's possible. And both the Boston and state election commission, whatever they're called, has confirmed that people can register to vote up to the day before the election.
Okay, tell that again.
It's not the October deadline that we hear about for mailing in our registration. As long as you become a citizen and are sworn in by the day before the election, you could still register to vote the next day.
So you get sworn in at Faneuil Hall
on Monday.
You
could go walk right over to the election commission and vote on Tuesday.
So we need to get our ducks moving and call one more time. What's the number?
617-694-5949. They can also visit our website, projectcitizenship.org.
So I have a question. Do you remember the young lady that I sent to you about
which one?
6? So she came in and she got her taxes done.
Okay.
And I told her, you know, she was telling me about her status and how she really wanted to be a citizen. And I was like, well, you should call Victoria. She was like, who is this person? If somebody can help me, like, you've been a godsend and an angel to some people who really want to be citizens, but just don't know that there is a process.
Yeah. Yeah, a lot of people don't know that there are free services out there, and we really hate the stories of people who spend money to get the form, which you can download for free. We hate the stories of people who pay notarios in their neighborhood to fill out the forms, and they're maybe not done as well as they should be. All our services are free. We have volunteers who help fill it out. We have 2 attorneys on staff, and we have 2 Board of Immigration Appeals accredited representatives. And it's really important for us that the work be quality. We have a good working relationship, to answer your question before, with elected officials at the state, local, and federal level who partner with us to try to make sure people have access to these benefits. So we've been working with Mayor Walsh. We've been working with Rep. Clark, Kennedy, Songus, and now we're going to be working with Rep. Moulton as well. And the mayor's office really has been an advocate for citizenship, to answer your earlier question. Walsh is the son of immigrants, and he's really proud of that. And his office, the mayor's office, which just changed their name from the mayor's office of New Bostonians to the mayor's office for immigrant advancement, is really a key player in making sure citizenship services are available. So they partner with us, and the t-shirt you're wearing is last year's t-shirt. It's the only size I had left, I apologize. But they partner with us every year, and last year, it says volunteer. You can come to volunteer this year. Last year, we had 234 legal permanent residents apply for citizenship that day at the Timothy School in Roxbury.
Mm-hmm.
We're doing it again this year on September 17th. Again, it's a Tim Multi school, and the goal is to have about 300 people apply for citizenship that day. And we did that with the help of about 200 volunteers from Goodwin Proctor, which is a Boston law firm, from law schools, from other law firms, and from organizations like Bank of America and IBM. So it really is an opportunity to have quality service for free.
Really quick question.
Sure.
This is coming from Facebook. If you guys have any questions about Project Citizenship, about green card status, if you have any questions regarding immigration, I think Victoria is pretty well versed in all of that. She may not have all the answers, Sway, but she can definitely.
I'll tell you if I don't.
Yeah, she can definitely direct us down the right path. Cleon James wants to know, if I file for my mom, who is Jamaican, and she's here in the U.S., is it easier to file here or at a center back home? And let's talk a little bit, not just to his direct question, but to all green card holders that are currently in their country.
Okay. So there's a lot of pieces to that question. So the first question is, if I want to petition for my mother and I have a green card, should she be in this country or in another country? And I'll be really lawyerly on you and say, it depends. It depends on what sort of process they're going through. It depends on her status here. Is she in status? Is she out of status? How long has she been here? What's the background here? So they really should see an immigration lawyer or someone who can help do that application to get her a green card. So it depends. In terms of eligibility for citizenship, you have to be a legal permanent resident who is actually living in the United States. So you can't apply for citizenship if you're living in Jamaica or Haiti.
So let's say, for instance, because a lot of us here have family that go home for 3-4 months at a time.
Right. So you're allowed to travel, and you're allowed to travel to your country of origin for less than 6 months at a time. And you have to show the government that you've been in the United States for at least half of the total number of years. So if I've had my green card for 5 years and I'm applying on the basis of that, then I have to show the government that I've been here at least 2.5 of the 5 years.
Oh,
and so you have to show them all your trips in and out.
Are you serious?
I'm serious, and we calculate the number of days they were out of the country. And that total needs to be less than half the number of days.
Hashtag y'all petty. No. Are you serious? They count the number of days.
They count the number of days. And you can't have any trips more than 6 months without a really good reason.
Okay, but death
is a really good
what about
reason. Business isn't, because you're supposed to be living in the United States, running your life here, own your house here, and do your business here.
Oh.
If you're running a business in Trinidad, or your house is in Trinidad, you're not really a legal permanent resident. and that they would have concerns about.
But what if you do like import-export trading with
Well, that
America?
would be different. That would be different. Then you'd have an argument about why you were there and that you were there for business and travel. But you can't ever have been out of the United States for more than a year.
Okay.
If you've been out of the United States for more than a year, then you actually have to wait 4 years and a day to be eligible to apply for citizenship.
And a day.
And a day. They sort of start the clock over. So, I mean, it's complicated. I'm not here to try to say this is really easy. People go out and fill it out. That's why we sit down with people and make sure we understand it. Sometimes we look at people's criminal records. Sometimes we look at their immigration records. Sometimes we look at all sorts of documents they bring in that we couldn't even imagine they'd bring in to say, is there going to be a problem? We've had issues with people who've used false names. We've had issues with people who've used false social security numbers. I mean, there's just everyone's life is complicated. And every complication is a little bit different. And so we look at each case one by one and try to give advice for that situation.
Okay.
And try to figure out what's the best for that person. Sometimes we say you can never apply for citizenship.
Oh, wow.
I'm sorry. Like if you voted, some people have voted in an election. That's kind of a no-no.
But I voted last year. You can't vote this year.
Well, the problem is that when you go to the registry of motor vehicles to get a driver's license, there's just this little box that you check, do you want to vote? And sometimes people think, well, yeah, I want to vote. And they don't understand it. It means like you're saying, I am a U.S. citizen and I'm eligible to vote. And yes, register me to vote.
See, that fine print wasn't big enough.
Right, wasn't big enough. So we can unregister people from from the voting registry, but we can't
count your vote.
Can't uncount your vote, right? We can't unring the bell.
Unless it's the Gore election and they counted the votes backwards.
That would be a good argument.
You know what? That documentary blew my mind. What is it? Dismembering Democracy. Jules, can you find out the name of that documentary? Something about democracy? Because people really need to watch that as far as like voting is concerned and with this being an election year. Whether you're a citizen or not, I think it's important for you to know just how corrupt our government can be.
I'm really impressed your intern is awake this early in the morning.
I'm really impressed that he got here on time.
Yeah. It's not the age of kids to get up this early in the
No,
morning.
not at all. Not at all.
The War on Democracy?
No, not War on Democracy. It's a documentary. I think I liked it yesterday, so it might be on Twitter. If not, I'll find it after the show ends and repost it for you guys because it needs to be watched. It needs to be seen.
I'll have to watch it. But I have to tell you, Tayla, that we have so many people, anytime I'm on the show, they call, wait till 9 o'clock when the office opens, but they call and they say, I heard you on Tayla this morning. And you have a lot of really dedicated listeners and followers and say, someone told me, and someone was listening to Tayla's show and they told me to call.
Aww.
So it's great that you're helping people and getting the word out because we're trying to educate the general population.
We have 300,000 people in the state of Massachusetts that can vote against Trump. I don't know. This is not about me. This is about democracy.
I agree. And it's about having representational government.
Yes.
Right? There are all these people living in the United States who are eligible for citizenship, and yet they're not being counted. Their votes aren't being counted because they're not citizens, and they have the power to become citizens. It's not like, we're suggesting that people do something they can't do.
Yeah.
This is something that's in their reach. Yes, it's hard. Yes, it requires an investment of time, and then you're going to have to study because there's a test.
But you guys help with that, right?
We give them all the materials to study. We have a lot of translated materials as well. So we have all the study materials, Spanish, Portuguese, Haitian Creole, Chinese, Vietnamese. We have a lot, and we give them all of that. We can also refer them to English classes and civic classes to get ready. And if it's going to be...
Are those free?
Some are, some aren't.
Okay.
We also, if it's going to be a difficult case, we'll go with them to the interview.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh,
So
is that extra?
No. It's all included in our free charge. I just went last week, actually earlier this week, to Lawrence for a woman who had a disability waiver, and it was a more complicated case, and so I went with her, and she passed. So we should be getting her oath notice soon.
I'm gonna hug you. Do you know how many lives you're changing?
Hundreds, thousands. I know. It's great. It's wonderful to be able to do this work because a lot of people, just have to work every day to make ends meet.
Absolutely.
Right? And I have the luxury, and the ends don't meet. And I have the luxury of trying to help people whose ends aren't meeting so well and who need some support. And I know it has a positive impact not only on the individual, but on the person's family and on society as a whole, right?
Mm.
We know that we're heading toward a minority majority. We know that's where we're going. This next election, if not this November, in 4 more years, it's going to look even more different.
Yeah.
We had a presentation earlier this week that was really interesting from all these like really smart academics that had statistics about not Hispanic and not Hispanic. And
Can we talk about that? Because it's white, non-Hispanic, black, non-Hispanic. But what if you have black Dominican? What if you're
right? What are you?
If you identify as black but you're Spanish,
right? What
or
are
Hispanic?
You're both. You can be both. But what the person was saying, and this was a Harvard professor, Mary Waters, was that we don't know what in 4 or 10 years the breakdown will be. So like maybe it'll be Muslim, non-Muslim. Like we don't know where the demography is going to go.
What?
Right? Like we could be. I can't even say Asian, not Asian. Right? Like, why is it Hispanic, not Hispanic?
Pacific Islander, non-Asian.
Yeah. Like, why is this the criteria? And so we have to ask them, and the citizenship form asks. Yeah, the citizenship form asks, first, are you Hispanic, non-Hispanic? And then pick one, white, black, Asian.
Okay, pause. How are you Hispanic and you identify as white? I've never understood this.
So I say when I'm forced to choose,
you serious?
Well, if my choices are white, Asian, or black, I'm definitely not Asian, and I'm definitely not black.
You're black. You
I'm
have
black?
melanin in your skin. You definitely are black.
Okay.
Do you wrap your hair at night? No, like.
So if you're filling out the form for me, you'll put me down as Hispanic black. But for Dominicans in particular, it is a challenge, and there's also a category that says Native American, right?
We killed all of them.
Right. So then some people, when you're asking them, say, well, what are you? They say, well, I'm Indian. I identify as Indian. It's like, fine, I'm checking off Native American, which is not what you are, right? Which is that's not the criteria.
So why do you know if there's any like legal court case or anything that's like, take the box off. You're not even properly representing me. You're putting me in this literally in a box, this demographic that doesn't identify the way who I am.
I don't think that there's any place where you have to check it off, right? So like if I'm filling out whether it's an SAT or citizenship application and I leave that blank, I don't know of any case where you're going to be penalized because you left it blank, right? Like I'm not going to answer this. I don't identify as any. I'm going to leave it blank. And the only time I've seen it matter is when in criminal cases they're trying to create representational juries. And so then they're like saying, well, the defendant was Latino and there's no Latinos on the jury. So all of a sudden it matters what you are and who's on the jury.
Okay.
But other than that, I haven't seen any repercussions for saying, I'm not picking one of your boxes. I'm picking all of them. Right? Like I'm going to check all 5 boxes.
But you really identify as white.
Well, I don't identify as Asian. And I don't identify as African American or black or Caribbean.
Really?
So what do I say?
We have Mexicans out here that really think they're white.
Because the other choices don't fit. I could leave that one blank.
Wow.
Okay.
Do you know what that means? Like, as far as demographics are concerned?
Right. So that's what I mean is the labels are inadequate. So who knows what the new labels will be in 5 to 10 years?
Muslim,
because our kids are becoming more and more mixed.
Yeah.
Right? Like my kids are half Indiana, white bread, and half Mexican American. So what are they? Which boxes should they be checking?
Both.
Both white and
but
Latino?
their mother identifies as white and their father's white, so just white. That's really.
It doesn't matter.
It doesn't. It really doesn't.
It doesn't.
Are you a United States citizen or not? And if you are not and you have a green card, you can call Project Citizenship and they will help you. And Victoria is very hands-on. I can't believe you went to Lawrence.
Yeah. Well,
if
that's where the case is, that's where we got to go. We do workshops all over the place. We've done Attleboro, we've done Framingham, we've gone to Lawrence. We go to Lawrence every month because there's such a need there. We're going back July 13th.
What's the number in Lawrence? Because I know Boston is.
Call us. Same number.
No.
It's lower statistics. Boston is like 20,000 a year, and Lawrence Lawrence is probably a quarter of that. So it's a much lower number.
Mhm.
And Lawrence, I don't know if you've ever been there. It's like a
Yes.
really largely Dominican,
Yes.
white or black, whatever they want to call themselves, community. And there's a lot of people who don't speak English.
Yeah.
So it's a really high need area. And as many, as few services there are in Boston to be able to get this kind of help, there's even less in
Yeah.
Lawrence. So we're lucky to be living in a city where, the mayor is concerned and is trying to make sure that people have access to quality.
So when
service.
is the next workshop? So I'm not really worried about, election. I'm not really worried about, voting,
Uh-huh.
which I don't know who falls into this category because Trump could be president. And if you are anything close to an immigrant or have immigration status or green card status or whatever status that you may be, you should be vehemently offended by anything that comes out of his mouth. And you should want to be a citizen so you can vote against him in writing Bernie. But walk me through this process. I call you today because this is what I meant to ask you earlier. I call you today. We have the possibility of voting in November. What do I do today?
So we have workshops every week, every month. This is something we do year round. This isn't something we're doing because of the election. Like, this is something we do all year round every year. We're apolitical, so we don't care who you're going to vote for. We just want you to be able to vote. We want you to exercise your right to vote. We will start with a phone call. We'll screen you. We'll ask you all these ridiculous questions just to make sure there isn't going to be a problem. And then we'll schedule a time for you to either come into the office. We just had 23 people yesterday apply for citizenship in our office. We had Wilmer Hale came over as volunteers, and we did a one-day in-office workshop. Our next one, I think, is Monday, the 20th. And then we have probably 3 next month. So this is something that we would just put you into the next one.
But I really want to vote. Can I come in today? Can we start today?
Call me at 9 a.m. I'll do everything I can.
What is the number?
617-694-5949.
Again.
617-694-5949, or go to our website, projectcitizenship.org.
.org. What other services are you connected to? So maybe not directly Project Citizenship, but what other services can I call you for that I know that you'd be able to direct me to the right person?
So we have 12 community partners in Rhode Island, Connecticut, and Maine that are also doing citizenship services, and a lot of them do other sorts of immigration cases. So we do have partners who help with family-based petitions. We do have partners.
And what is that, a family-based petition?
Meaning I have a green card or I'm a U.S. citizen and I want to bring my mother, brother, sister from Tobago, Jamaica.
How does that work
Spain.
if I'm married? Like I went home and got married and my my husband doesn't have a green card, but I have a green card. And
so again, it depends. It might be that you come back here and petition for your husband to join you, that he should be out of the country and come here, or it might be that you got married here and then you're gonna have to do a different process. But there is a way to get a green card for your spouse. And then your stepchildren, because when you get married, your children become your children.
This is an odd question. What about godchildren?
Okay, we get this a lot because a lot of Latinos and
I know.
Caribbean folks say, well, it's my godson. It's like, yeah, that doesn't count. It really needs to be an adoption. Guardianship isn't enough. It needs to be an adoption.
So does that happen often? Like, are people willing to give up, I guess,
Sometimes. I mean,
surrender rights?
you've seen some grandparents who raise their grandkids and eventually adopt them for benefits purposes or, for financial benefit issues. But it's not as frequent. So most of the time when I hear my godmother, my aunt raised me, it's like, well, that's not what we're talking about. Like, what does your birth certificate say? Do you have a court document that says this person is your mother or father? So that's really what the government's looking at. They're not looking at kin relationships. They're looking at legal parental rights.
Okay. There's been a lot of stories in the news about those that are currently incarcerated that have no status.
Yeah.
I know this is not directly related to Project Citizenship, But how does that work? Like, if I'm
Yeah.
here illegally, what is the proper terminology for somebody who's
status.
without? If I'm here without status
Or undocumented.
or undocumented, and so for those who weren't listening earlier, there is proper language, so you do not seem offensive. They are not illegal. They are
Undocumented, or they don't have status.
or they don't have status. So if I am undocumented or I do not have status and ICE comes and gets me, I am then imprisoned.
You're put in jail. So there's no immigration detention center in Massachusetts the way there are some in Texas. Like you've heard about Dilley in
Yes.
Texas. So we don't have that. So if you're picked up, the only place they're going to be able to take you is to the jail. And there was talk that there were going to be more raids. There's been talk that they were going to try to find people without status. There was a
They
little.
don't even have anywhere to put them. What the hell do they want to
Right.
round
Well,
them up for?
There was a shift in status, so a shift in policy. So before the policy was, they were really only focused on people who are criminals, right? Felons, not families. But there's been a shift more recently where the ICE is trying to pick up people who have been here and have a removal order against them and didn't leave.
So what is a removal order and
Deportation.
what makes me eligible for this removal order?
So a removal order isn't something you want to be eligible for. It's not a good thing. So it means that at some point I was picked up, I didn't have status, and there was an immigration court proceeding, and I was told to leave. And I was given a deadline, or they ordered me to, or I said I'll
My
leave by a
kids are
day.
here, my wife is here.
And then you don't leave. And then ICE comes to your door and they can pick you up and take you into, they can detain you. They can take you into custody.
So at
Because
what
there was an
point do
order
you release
against
me?
you. They release you back to your own country.
My country don't want me though. Do countries say that? Like, we don't want them? Keep them. You say give us your poor, give us your hungry, take them. They're poor and hungry.
Yeah, no, they can't not take you. They might. Well, you've heard stories, I'm sure, that people are from further South America and they're being sent to Mexico. So maybe they're Guatemalan or they're Ecuadorian.
But that's not my country of origin.
I know, and so then they're dumped in Mexico, and that's not their country, and they don't know Mexico, and so then they're kind of stuck in limbo. So they're.
So is that not a fail on our behalf that we did not send them to their country of origin, where you just said if you get caught, you get sent to your country of origin? Well, your country is in
Right.
Mexico.
No, well, that's not for me to say. You can definitely rant all you want about that.
Thank you.
Please do. I'd love to listen. But you know, this is what the U.S. government's doing. It's about cost. It's about what they want them out of the United States if they don't have status to be here. I think they're less concerned about where they're sending them.
You know that doesn't sit well with me
No,
because they're still humans.
I agree.
What are
I
we doing
agree.
with the babies? Because I remember reading a story about somewhere in Texas or Arizona where they
In the
imprisoned
refrigerators.
yeah.
In the refrigerators. Yeah. So there's been a lot of talk that some of these facilities are closing, but they do have what they call two-liter refrigerators where they're putting them in for a couple of days, and I don't know the rationale for that. But then after that, there's been a lot of people trying to.
What does that mean? Like,
It's a cold cell. So there's a lot of people who are trying to advocate for ankle bracelets so they can be found, but they don't have to be held, which is much more expensive, as you can imagine, than.
because we're spending the same that we spend on an inmate, correct?
Absolutely.
So that
feeding them 3 meals a day.
$34,000 a year.
You're feeding them 3 meals a day.
So I want to remind you, on Monday we had the conversation about the Juneteenth Emancipation observation, and one of the things that we discussed was it is illegal for you to keep somebody in. It's illegal for there to be free labor unless they are incarcerated persons. So let's put 2 and 2 together now and be a little critical in our thinking. I think we understand why ICE is rounding everybody up, because this is free labor, and you know, Mexicans work really hard.
I don't know that the people who are in these proceedings are then being put to work the way inmates are cleaning highways and that. I don't know that they're being
So
used
they're
in that way.
they don't even have purpose for them?
Well, they're trying to hold them so they can deport them. And I'm not justifying it. I'm trying to answer your questions.
I understand.
I'm
I
not
understand.
supporting that. I'm not in favor of it at all.
Okay, let me ask you a personal question. I don't know if you can answer this because it's your thoughts, your opinions, your feelings. What do you think we should do with those that are in this country that are undocumented or do not have status?
So I personally,
Yes.
not as executive director, as project citizen. This is just Veronica Serrato talking off the top of her head.
Yes.
I think there should be a path to citizenship for people who don't have status. I think that there are a lot of rules that are here that limit the number of people who can become citizens, and that we really need to look at why. Why are those rules there? What benefit is there? Undocumented residents of the United States pay a tremendous number of taxes. They pay a lot of money into the economy, and they're a vital part of the economy. They're taking jobs other people don't want, other people won't do. And I don't think that creating a path to citizenship where we make sure there's no criminal records and that they're eligible for citizenship in all other ways, and they're paying the filing fee, and there's federal background checks and all of that. I'm not saying fast forward it. I'm saying just create a path. Because right now, if you don't have a green card, there's no path to citizenship. That's the only people who are in line. There is no line for people who don't have a green card.
So how does that work? If I don't have status, I don't have status, how do I work? Because I, as a citizen, when I go to work somewhere, I have to fill out tax forms, I have to give a social security number.
So what are your choices if you don't have status? What can you do, Tayla, when you show up to try to get a job and you don't have status?
Use somebody else's information?
Yep.
That may have died?
A false social, someone else's information, a relative maybe, someone who's dead. You have no choice if you want to feed your family than to do something that's not allowed. And then you can get, the government lets you get a tax ID number so you can pay your taxes. That they'll give you.
Hold on. I have no status.
You can get a tax ID number so you can pay your taxes.
But you won't give me a path to citizen. You want my money, but I can't live here.
And you have to register for selective service if you're a male between 18 and 26.
Well, that's everybody though, right?
But if you don't have status, you have to register.
Oh, that's what I wanted to talk to you about. We had a conversation, Nero, 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 the new movie with, you weren't here. We interviewed the young man who was in Nero.
Oh, wow.
And he was talking about citizen soldiers. Is it?
I don't know.
Oh, Lord have mercy.
I don't know. In the United States?
In the United States, if you are
yes,
a non-status person, you don't have status,
and you sign up for the military.
Yes.
You are eligible for citizenship, and you get expedited citizenship.
Yes.
So that the government does allow. People without status can
Would you tell people to take that route?
I think that's an extreme choice, and it's not going to work for a 55-year-old woman.
Okay, yes.
Right? So you've got to be, they're really looking for young men and women of a certain age.
But wouldn't that make sense for young men and women that are currently incarcerated because they have deportation status? But
I don't know that if you have deportation pending against you, if you can sign up for the military. I don't know that they're going to do that, right? And when you apply for citizenship, that's one of the questions: is have you ever been in removal proceedings, which is the same as deportation? Have you ever been in a deportation process?
Mm-hmm.
So they're going to look at that. They're not. It's not sort of a you all get in for free card. They're still looking at everything else. So. They're still going to look at the criminal record. They're still going to look at, have you ever lied to a government official? They're still going to look at what else have you done in your history.
Have government officials ever lied? Should have been the question.
That would be a good question. But there is a path to citizenship through the military. That's very much true. It's just that you then, you're giving them a number of years of your life, and there's risk to being in the military. So I wouldn't give that advice out freely to someone calling and saying, if they said, what are my options? That might be one of the options. It's along with marry a U.S. citizen, be adopted by a U.S.
How does that work? Because I've been asked to get married.
I'm not saying
Somebody, of
I'm not
course.
saying a fake marriage. I'm saying, are you in a relationship anywhere that you might end up married to a U.S. citizen? Fake marriages don't help. Fake marriages cause more problems.
Really?
Yes, because then when you're going in to remove the conditions on your green card, you could be separated and asked, what color toothbrush does your husband use, and what side of the bed does he sleep on?
I don't
does
know
he
the
have any
color of my
tattoos?
toothbrush of my children, and they're my kids.
What shoe size is your husband?
I don't know the shoe size of an Ari and a Sari.
We had somebody asked within the last month whether the wife had any tattoos and where.
Wow.
Yeah. So that it's not. None of this is easy. If it were easy, people would be doing it. Right. It's not easy. But we're here to help people who can.
What if you're legitimately married? That is your husband.
Yep.
That is your wife. And you really don't know what color their toothbrush is.
Then you'd have other ways to prove it. You'd probably have kids. You'd have pictures. You'd have travel records. You'd have lease records. But when you stop and think, how do you prove this is that you have a bona fide marriage with this person? That's what you'd have to show.
Y'all want to call at 7:15 when the show opens. We do have a call on the line. The show is coming to a close, but I do want to make sure that all the questions are in. Please make sure you call Victoria at Project Citizenship. Give us the number 2 more times.
617-694-5949.
One more time.
617-694-5949.
Good rising, caller. You're live.
Tayla, you just answered my question before I asked the question.
What was the question? The phone number?
Yeah, because I completely lost your show this morning trying to get these babies to school, and I'm like, this is such an interesting conversation. I had so many questions for immigration, why status, and then I'm like, dang, I hope I get this number and call this lady named later. And then you just happened to ask her to say the number before I can ask you, can I have the number later?
So what? 2 more times, Veronica. How can we get in contact with you? What is the website?
617-694-5949.
Oh, I'm sorry. Say that again.
617-694-5949.
One more time.
617-694-5949. ProjectCitizenship.org. And the office will open at about 9. No one's there right now. It's 7 o'clock in the morning.
You will go straight to voicemail.
Citizen status, looking for citizen status, or a green card, or is that?
Say that one more time. Say that again.
Is this to help someone obtaining a green card or citizenship?
This is for people who have their green cards who want to apply for citizenship.
Got it. Thank you very much. Thank you, Taylor.
You're welcome. I hope this helps. This is a Caribbean station. A lot of us have family. If we ourselves are not green card holders or undocumented, that is not non-status. Help me with my language, Veronica.
Undocumented or out of status.
Undocumented or out of status, because I do not want to be insensitive. Undocumented or out of status, but we have family members that are. We have grandparents that are. We have, what about the last question? What about people that have a grandparent that wants to bring them, like they're sick? I want to bring them. I want to make sure, their dying wish is to make sure the rest of the family is over here. Mm-hmm. Is there any way to speed that up? I understand process. I understand. But if I bring a cousin tomorrow who just got citizenship, or not citizenship, got green card status yesterday.
So I think
you have to wait? Like if you get green card status today, can you go for citizenship tomorrow?
Right. So there's no expedited path to citizenship other than for some military personnel. So unfortunately, you have to wait the 3 years or the 5 years. And we've seen, unfortunately, people who have an urgency about them, but there's no exceptions. You got to wait.
At all.
At all. Tough path.
A pathway to citizenship. It's difficult, it's hard, but it's not impossible, and we still have opportunity now for you.
Yeah, and if you miss this election, don't wait another 4 years in time for the next election. Just do it do it sooner than later and then vote in all the interim elections. Because there's governors and there's
Yep.
state reps.
Yep.
And there's all sorts of other things you could have impact on.
What about green card holders that want to be involved in the political process, like as far as running for office or sitting on boards or stuff like that?
There's a lot of things that green card holders can do, but there are some elected official positions that require citizenship. So you might be able to serve on your town council or your school committee, but you might not be able to vote to run as mayor. So you really just have to look at the particular position and research what is required. But you can still be civically engaged as a non-citizen. You can be civically engaged as an undocumented resident of the United States. You can campaign for people, you can boycott things, you can picket, and there's still a lot.
You can still be active and still have your voice heard, even though you're not a citizen of the United States.
Can't vote.
You just can't vote. But don't think those letters don't help, though, because those letters don't know whether or not you're a citizen. They matter. Veronica, thank you.
Thank you, Tayla. We really appreciate you giving us a platform to give out this important information and to make these services available to your listeners who get up at an ungodly hour to listen to you.
Or they just press the rewind later on. We do have it on YouTube as well as Facebook. I want to say thank you so much for being here. Thank you for helping the people that you've helped. What is the number of people that have been helped this year?
I checked yesterday. I think it was like 648, 660, some ridiculous number of people in less than 6 months.
And last year's total number was?
704. Yeah.
We might need to have you on again, Veronica.
Busy year.
We have 300,000 people in the state of Massachusetts that can possibly vote. 300,000 people in the Commonwealth of Massachusetts. How many in the city of Boston?
48,000.
48,000 people.
8.8 million in the United States. So imagine if those 8.8 million people voted in next election.
Trump would not be president. Can we please pass the word? Please pass the word. We have a solution, y'all. I have a caller that's currently on the line, but baby, we have ran out of time. If you stay on hold, Veronica is still in the building. So do me a favor, don't hang up. Your question will be answered, just not live. I want to give a shout out to ZC Boston, 801 Mass Ave. Free parking, delivery until 1 a.m. Smell that, Veronica. I want you to tell the listeners how it smells.
Ooh, it smells fruity, pineapple-y, citrus.
That is Face
Really nice.
Natural Body Oil. I absolutely love it. It's almost empty because I use it on everything for everything. But ZC Boston, free parking, delivery until 1 a.m. Half price sushi on the weekends from 11 a.m. to 9 p.m. Do not forget to order your lychee martini. The atmosphere is absolutely amazing, and we have something in the works for weekends. If you're a working professional and you need somebody somewhere to go and you don't want to turn up, we are doing something at ZC Boston as far as the lounge is concerned. So wait for that. Wait for that. You no longer have to wait for David Banner tickets because they are on the website and they are for sale. Grab them now while they're $25 each, because once they go up, baby, there's nothing I can do to help you. If you can purchase a ticket for somebody else as far as sponsorship is concerned, please do so. Face Natural Beauty, face with an S, naturals with an S, beauty.com, the charcoal face wash, the charcoal teeth whitener, the pum pum wash, the deodorant, all that. Big City 101.3 FM, waking up with Tayla Andre, Monday through Friday, 5 a.m. to 7. Thank you to the intern, Julian. All the tweets are by him. We appreciate you. Veronica, pathway to citizenship by means of Project Citizenship. I call it Pathways. I'm sorry.
That's okay.
Project Citizenship. Please give them the number one more time.
617-694-5949.
You know what it is? It's DJ Sus One, the feature presentation. Listen, make sure you wake up with Tayla Andre Monday through Friday, 5 to 7 a.m. on Big City 101.3 FM. Wake up with the Radio Rebel. Politics, news, conspiracies. Wake up your third eye with unorthodox conversations leading to universal consciousness. This is the type of stuff I'm into, all right? Make sure you tune in. Let's go.
Did that person hang up?
Nope. Hello, good rising. Hello?
Hello, good morning.
Hi, how are you?
Not bad, yourself?
Well, Veronica's here for whatever question you have.
I have a question. What if my parents got their citizenship when I was underage, but I didn't know at the time that I can get it under that parent. And now that I'm over 21.
That's great. You're still a citizen. If your parents became citizens while you were under 18 and you were living with them in the United States as a green card holder and they had custody of you, you are a citizen, and it's a different form. Call the office and we'll set up an appointment with you and we'll get you your proof of citizenship.
Okay. All right, so I don't have to actually file separately for myself then.
You would have to file an N-600 as opposed to an N-400, proving that proof that they're citizens and showing that you were living here with them, and proof of custody. But you are a citizen. It's just to get proof of citizenship as opposed to applying for citizenship. Does that make sense? So there's no background. There's no background check. There's no criminal record check. You are a citizen.
Okay. All right. And is there a cost for the citizenship or no?
Yeah, it's $600 for that form, but if you get Mass Health or have low income or food stamps, then you would be eligible for a fee waiver.
Okay. All right. Sounds good.
So call our office, okay?
And what's the number?
Did you write it down?
No, I don't have it. Give it to me again.
617
617
694
694
5949.
5949. All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye now.
So you just told that man he's a citizen.
Woo! Woo! Did you tweet the number?
Yeah. Okay. Thank you so much. The sun's out. How's your exercise routine going?
Yeah, about that.
Where's your sidekick?
Reggie B.
Reggie B. I'm so good to see Reggie B.
I'm a quitter. I like food, Veronica. I don't eat chicharrones, but I love the smell of it.
Chicharrones are awesome.
Oh, I love the smell.
And who's this? Is this your friend of yours?
You know what? She became a friend.
Yeah.
Somebody was telling me about her over and over again, and I'm hard-headed. I'm like, yeah. And then I used the oil one time, and I was like, I want everything. I do not have a beauty product that you can buy in the store.
Really? You just like the natural stuff. This is the one thing I don't think I'd put on my teeth.
You know what? I didn't think so either. But that is absolutely amazing.
And then do you spit it out?
Yeah. No. You spit it out.
Does it polish them?
Yeah. And they feel amazing.
I bet. It's nice the sun is out. It's so
It
different
is.
than January.
Feel this. This is
In January you come and you like.
That's for your hair.
Wow.
You know
I
how
put it on my face.
you know
it feels nice.
you can't, and it's not heavy.
It's just like black hair.
You should have checked black on the form.
Taylor told me I'm black.
You wrap your hair at night.
Taylor told me I'm black. I had no idea I was black. It's a stupid question.
It is. Jules, can you do me a favor? Can you grab the banner and put it in the hallway for me,
Is
please?
this your exercise equipment?
Yeah, that's it. I have no idea what that is.
it?
I have no idea.
Are you done?
up. I think YouTube's still running. Now that we're back for a quick commercial break. Faith Naturals. This is drenched in silk hair milk. Ooh, it's the hardest thing to come out. But it is so light and fluffy. And one of the things that Sinan said yesterday is, because Sinan has a daughter who has hair like mine, and she was just like, I don't know how to make her hair curly and look full, but without weighing it down and making it crunchy. Hair milk, it smells like, what smell is that? It smells like cherry. Yeah. It smells like, it's absolutely, I can't tell you the amount of, I wish you guys could smell, because I definitely was about to like, here, smell. This is the My Pleasure Body Souffle. I love it. I love all of her products. And I do not have, the only thing that I have to buy from the store is shampoo and conditioner, because Faith has not figured out how to make hair shampoo or conditioner yet. As soon as she makes shampoo and conditioner, I'm not buying anything from the beauty supply store. All my hand soap, my body soap, the pum wash, the face wash, the teeth, like I don't buy toothpaste anymore. I have to get it for the kids, but not for me. Anari and Asaria use the deodorant. Asaria loves it. It's the only deodorant she's ever used, so she's never had aluminum. Give me the aluminum foil. She's never had aluminum in her system or in her body. English as a second language. Don't know what the first one is, but English is definitely the second. I love all of her products. If you don't get anything, make sure you get the rose infused oil, because this is it. Oh yeah, and the sex stuff that I can't talk about because Julian, you can't come on Fridays. I'm gonna have to talk to your mother about you coming on Fridays.